Dream season week 14 here. The playoffs are fast approaching, but we start here with a non-playoff implication game. Eagles 3-9, Giants 4-8, and it would be a back-and-forth contest. McNabb throwing Weaver on a quick play who makes a couple of very good moves, getting into the end zone, 7-0. Eagles would go on to win by the final 21-17. Both teams 4-9. Steelers-Browns, both teams 6-6, and whoever loses today, you would think that they are out of the playoff race here. It would be 3 straight field goals by the Pittsburgh Steelers to make it 9-0. Then after a Steelers stand, it would be 9-3, and they would go on to win by that score. They're 7-5. Steelers will still be a game behind if the Ravens can win today, and they have a fairly easy opponent in the Lions. But in the first quarter, it did not seem that way. Dilfer would fumble the ball, be recovered, and it would lead to a Lions touchdown. Green in the end zone to make it 7-3. But then late, it would be Jamal Lewis with the game-breaking 75-yard touchdown grab. The final score would be 27-10. Ravens move on to 7-5 on the season and are still one game ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers, while the Browns and Bengals are out of it in the North. Moving over to the NFC North, an epic rivalry. Packers-Bears here, and the winner gets first place in the division. Obviously, a defensive slugfest was expected here in Chicago. A Singletary interception would make it scoreless at halftime. In the fourth quarter, after a Packers field goal, Bears would drive down the field, and it would be an 8-yard strike to Keith Ortego to make it 7-3, but the Packers offense would reply on the following possession. They would drive down the field, and Edgar Bennett with an 11-yard score would make it 10-7, and now the Bears offense need to reply. With 2 minutes to go, it would be a sack fumble, and that would end it for the Bears. Both teams 9-4, but the Packers get first place in the division. It'd be a classic case of a blowout here in Tampa Bay, Florida. 3-3 in the second before it'd be a pick six by Robert Kelly to make it 10-3 right before halftime. In the second half, the Tampa Bay offense would get things going. Michael Pittman, 55 yards all the way to the New York Jet 6-yard line. Final 27-13. Dolphins traveling to Jacksonville in a must-win game here if they want to keep afloat in the wild card playoffs for the AFC. Otto Stowe with a 13-yard touchdown to make it 10-3 in the third quarter. Then, as the fourth quarter went along, Jaguars were pretty much out of it. On 4th and 16, in desperation attempt, it'd be a Jones fumble. Dolphins 8-5. Panthers 2-10, Patriots 7-5 in a very one-sided contest here in Foxborough. After a 3-0 start, Brady to the air, and Randy Moss with an 80-yard touchdown to make it 10-0. But the Patriots are not done just yet. A 1-yard score by Lawrence Maroney would be followed by, yes, another Brady touchdown. Brady going deep to Jabbar Gaffney, complete. Final 40-7. Patriots 8-5, Panthers 2-11. Broncos 7-5, Colts 6-6. Both teams need this game desperately. After a 3-0 Colts start, it would be 2 straight touchdowns, one to Rod Smith, who had a great day, and another one to Ed McCaffrey on a 28-yard score. 17-3 late in the second quarter before yet another Broncos score would put this game out of reach, 24-3. The Colts offense struggled all day, and now they are in desperation mode, 2 games behind the Tennessee Titans. Broncos 8-5. Redskins Raiders here, and Oakland has a chance of clinching their division with a win here today, the first team that would do so in the dream season. Early on, it would be a Ted Hendricks pick six, but it would be followed by an Art Monk 70-yard touchdown reception to tie the game at 7 in the first quarter. But after this, it would be all Raiders in the football game. Clarence Davis with the 5-yard score, his 5th on the year to make it 17-7, and then it would be 2 pick sixes by Joe Theismann. This interception would be his second of 5 on the afternoon, and his second pick six would come on the following series. Theismann and the Redskins would struggle all afternoon. The final would be 52-10, and as much as it kills me to say it, the Raiders have clinched the AFC West, the first team to do so. Both teams 7-5 on the season, yet the Dallas Cowboys can afford a loss here because the Redskins lost earlier in Week 14. Kellen Winslow with a 38-yard strike to make it 7-0, and then afterwards, after a James Brooks touchdown on a 4-yard run. It would be 21-3 in Dallas early in the second quarter, but that'd be when Troy Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys would respond. A big 40-yard reception to Kenny Martin, and it'd be followed by a 2-yard run to Johnston to make it a one-possession game here in Dallas. But the Chargers would drive down the field up by a score and would settle for a field goal on 4th and along 13, but would make it a 2-possession game here in Dallas. That means that the Cowboys would have to make a lot of things happen. On 4th down and 10, a big touchdown to Alvin Harper, and that would make it a one-possession game here. Only 3 points the differential. But under 2 minutes to go, they would have to go for the onside kick, and the Lynn Elliott onside attempt would be no good. Dwight Scales with the recovery. So now the Chargers rise to 8-5 on the season. Cowboys drop to 7-6, and now the AFC West picture is clear. The Raiders have clinched the division at 11-2, while the Broncos and Chargers are still in it at 8-5. Moving over to the NFC East, both the Cowboys and Redskins 7-6, but the Dallas Cowboys hold the tiebreaker. 7-5 Saints, 5-7 Atlanta Falcons. Big NFC South rivalry here, and it would be all Falcons in the football game. Just a highlight reel of points for the Atlanta Falcons offense. O.J. Santiago with 2 straight touchdowns. Then Tim White with 2 straight stiff arms to make it 28-0 here. Then after a 31-0 start, Drew Brees with his chance of first points on the day would get pick 6, and it would be 38-0 before a garbage touchdown right before the end of the game. Drew Brees to J.J. Arrington. Final score 38-7 Falcons. Falcons fall within 1 game of the Saints, who are now struggling here. And the Saints are 2 games behind division-leading Tampa Bay. Saints now need to make stuff happen. Due to Miami winning, the Bills cannot clinch the division, and it looked evident throughout the afternoon that the Bills just gave up. It would be a 14-0 start before a 20-7 finish here after a Jim Lynch interception. Bills fall from possibly clinching the division to being only 1 game ahead of the Miami Dolphins. Bills are 9-4 on the season, a great record, but need to make things happen to clinch their AFC East division. Big Week 14 matchup here. Rams 9-3, Titans 7-5. And remember, back in 1999, the Super Bowl, it came down to the last play. It wasn't exactly in the case here, but it was still a great matchup, coming right down to the wire. 7-0 Rams before the Titans would drive down the field. Thigpen with the big reception, and then Eddie George battling his way 1 yard to the end zone to tie the game at 7. And then after a St. Louis 3-and-out, Eddie George with the 2nd straight touchdown, 14-7 here in the second quarter. The Rams in the second would get nothing going here. Another 3-and-out, second consecutive on the first half. And then afterwards, it would be another Titans drive. Very impressive game here by the Tennessee Titans. Isaac Byrd to the end zone, and it would be 21-7 Titans in this football game. But then the Rams would drive on 2 straight series. It would be a 3-point game here after a St. Louis touchdown by Marshall Faulk, and then a 2-point conversion by who else but Marshall Faulk. 18-21 here, but the Titans would drive after that. It would be a 3rd and inches conversion with just under 2 to go that would seal it for the Tennessee Titans. After the Colts loss and the Titans win, they are more than in it here in the AFC South. Seahawks 6-6, Texans 3-9 on the season. The Seahawks are the only team that have any sort of a chance in the playoffs here, and it would be a first half to remember for the Seattle Seahawks. 7-0 score in the first after a Sean Alexander touchdown, and then fumble recovered by the Seattle Seahawks, and they would score from there. Matt Hasselbeck on a 2-yard toss to his big play man, Jeremy Stevens. 14-0 in the second, and then a Matt Schaub interception would get Seattle another chance for more points on the board, and they would surely take advantage here. A 21-yard strike, Bobby Ingram in the end zone. It would be 21-0 before the Texans would finally strike back to make it 21-10 here, and then a Sean Alexander fumble would make things interesting in Reliance Stadium. It would be a touchdown to John Casey to make it a 7-point game. and the Texans would need an onside kick with just 30 seconds to go, and they would recover it to give them a chance. 29 seconds to go in this football game. 3rd down and 2, ball on the 47, and Steve Slayton would get 20 yards and would get out of bounds. A big play by the Houston Texans. And then on the following play, it would be Steve Slayton, a big reception, 41 yards to the end zone. And this game, after the extra point attempt, could be all tied at 24 here after a 21-0 start by the Seattle Seahawks. The kick is good, and we're going to overtime. Well, wait a minute, not just yet. We have 1 second to go here, so the Seattle Seahawks can get the ball in the end zone. They pass it, and it gets intercepted. Maybe the Texans can score. Revis on the return, and he would get tackled at the 34-yard line. So the Reeves pick would send things to overtime. On 3rd down 11, Texans get the ball first. It'd be a 3-and-out. So now can the Seattle Seahawks get the ball into the end zone or get a field goal? Joe Jurevicius with a big reception, getting down to the 14-yard line, and there's your field goal range that the Seattle Seahawks were looking for. It'd be a big reception, Joe Jurevicius on the replay. So can it be Brown that can save it here in Reliance Stadium? The kick is good. Seahawks move up to 7-6 on the season, and they have a chance in the NFC wildcard race. Big NFC West game here. Cardinals 7-5, Niners 8-4. Cardinals won this matchup back in week 1, final 7-10. That was a defensive game, but this one would not be so low scoring. 14-3 now in the first quarter after a 3-yard touchdown by Williams. So now down 14-3, the Cardinals would start to drive down the football field. Steve Breston getting down to the 45-yard line of the 49ers, and that would lead to a big touchdown here to make it 14-13 at halftime. Niners celebrating just a 1-point lead here as we go to the halftime break. In the third quarter, after a Cardinals field goal, it'd be an interception in the end zone, and that'd be followed by an 18-yard strike to Anquan Bolden to make it a 23-14 game. As we enter the fourth quarter, Niners need to make a lot happen here. 2nd and goal, it'd be a touchdown to Roger Craig to make it a 2-point game, 23-21. Now the Cardinals, with a couple first downs, can seal this game, but on 3rd and 12, it'd be a 3-and-out. Giving the ball right back to the San Francisco 49ers, and on 3rd and 16, Joe Montana with a clutch play, and Terry Greer getting the first down. A very pedestrian drive here as they get into Cardinals territory, and then on 1st and 10 from the 29, Montana to Jerry Rice, and the connection, 29 yards, would get them a touchdown to make it 27-23 with the PAT pending. And then going for 2, it would be Montana with another touchdown, John Taylor, to make it 23-29. Now can the Cardinals respond on 2nd and 10? Anquan Bolden with a big reception to the 20, 15, 10, 5 touchdown, and now the Cardinals have the lead. Can the 49ers go to 9-4 in the season? Can the Cardinals upset the Niners for the second time in a row? Niners going, and they get to the Cardinals side of the field. They are looking for only a field goal. And on the following play, Jerry Rice wide open to the 20-10, breaks a tackle, and he is into the end zone, and the Niners win the football game, 35-30. So the NFC West playoff picture is clear. Rams-Niners both 9-4 on the season, while the Seahawks and Cardinals bring up the rear at 7-6. Over in the AFC side of the playoff picture, it would be the Raiders, Bills, Baltimore Ravens, and Tennessee Titans, all that have their division leads. Broncos and Dolphins at 8-5, they hold the wild card here in the AFC. Going over to the NFC picture, it would be the Rams and Niners leading the NFC West, while in the NFC East, Cowboys holding that division, Packers in the North, and Bucs in the South. Thank you for watching this presentation of the Dream Season Football League. Make sure to tune in next time, and while you're at it, find the Dream Season Football League on Facebook.